United without him, better? Bear in mind he scored 24 goals for them in the previous campaign.
Listen, I think they are a better football team longer term without him. I do believe that they also probably have been better in the second half of the season, but let's not ignore the fact that they've not scored a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Prior to the Chelsea game, obviously the 4-1 win this week, they were by far the team in the top 5, top 6 who had the lowest goal scoring record.
Yep.
You know, Wout Weghorst comes in and does a job for you, but he doesn't score a lot of goals. Martial continues to be a completely streaky player.
He's awful.
Rashford hits these veins of form, and we saw he went on an unbelievable streak earlier in the season.
And then he turns back into Rashford.
Yeah, that is kind of their biggest concern still, and that is something that he addresses. But overall, I was always in that camp of, for the long-term health of this club, Cristiano Ronaldo isn't the person you want to be building around. And I do think that actually getting him out the door was probably one of Ten Hag's best things he could have done.
I watch him, and I think if that guy up front wasn't called Ronaldo, then I think it's a loss to United. I think all the baggage he brings to the club, like, you're not telling me that Wout Weghorst did a better job than Cristiano Ronaldo could do.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
He brings all the drama, he brings all the baggage, and then you get all this nonsense about, but it's a good commercial thing. But actually, he's now at a point in his career where the deals that he gets, the money that he gets, means that all of that's offset anyway, because he takes all of the shirt sale money himself, like, as part of the commercial agreement. So I don't even know if there's value on that side of things. Maybe there is a value to a Saudi Arabian league or a team there of bringing in a superstar like that, throwing money at it to draw attention to
their social media channels went up through the roof.
Of course
but it doesn't mean anything to the biggest club in the world, in Manchester United. And look, overall, I mean, if you're Ten Hag and this question's thrown to him, he'll say, 1 second, we won the League Cup, we're in an FA Cup final, they could win that. City are obviously favourites, and they've made Champions League. That's successful. For your first season in charge of United, that's successful.
People loved throwing around that stat a few weeks ago, didn't they, about how Ten Hag had more losses this season than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ever had. But you can see a vision, you can see a plan, you can see a way forward. And you build into that. Not only has he coached up players, and Rashford's a key example, but actually I think Sancho breaking into the team recently, he's somebody who I think could contribute more going forward as he works under Ten Hag and continues to improve. I think throughout that midfield they've improved hugely. Like, you can see the differences across the whole pitch. There's a lot they still need to do if they're going to properly contend, but I feel like they're going somewhere. I feel like they have moved forward. Whereas under Solskjaer, I always felt a little bit like they were treading water, trying to cut the chaff, trying to escape
Solskjaer almost felt a bit like the Rashford movement of it's there and then it's not there, and it looks amazing but then it's not amazing. I do wonder, there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of weeks about Mason Mount going there. And I felt like if they got Champions League, they could tempt Harry Kane. If they get those two, just those two, to what they've got now, how close do they run City next season?
I don't know if Mount fits there that well. Like, he's obviously a very good footballer.
Yeah.
I think it's telling that Chelsea are willing to let him go.
True.
I think that if I want to go somewhere and try and win stuff, and this is astonishing to say, imagine me saying this 12 months ago, I actually think Arsenal's the better option for him. I think he's got straight into that Arsenal team from day one. Xhaka's going. Partey, after a very good start to the season, really did drop off as their form dropped off. I think he can be a kind of creative box-to-box midfielder who allows them to do what they did earlier in the season, which was have someone who does that work so that Odegaard can just stay.
Yeah, he's just better than Jorginho.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just much better. He's just better than Jorginho. Yeah,
which Chelsea learned, and now Arsenal will learn if he goes there. So if I'm him, that's where I'm going. United have some clear holes. A goal scorer, Harry Kane, does make them instantly a team who should be competing.
Yeah.
The big question mark for me, right, is that if Newcastle invest again and push on, if Liverpool
can't be as
don't
bad,
have
surely.
that awful first 5 or 6 months of the season that they had, and they look more like the Liverpool of the last 10 weeks or so, Chelsea, depending on who their manager are, could easily bounce back. There's a lot of quality in that squad. There's clearly still money. They need to get rid of some players, but they bring in a good striker. That team could be a good team quite quickly. That's my only thing with Man United, is that they've got a takeover hanging over their head. They've got, we don't know, the Glazers aren't going to invest anything until Ineos or until the chap from the Middle East have actually purchased this club. So when are they going to start making that investment? Our team's going to get in front of them, and if they do, are we going to see them start missing targets, rebuild happening later and later? This feels like the first proper football summer we've had for a while, where there's no football, no major tournament, no pandemic, no anything else. So this is the opportunity when you're a team like that. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? To go and really retool.
Good shout. We haven't had this for years.
And they might end up 5 or 6 weeks behind everyone else because the Glazers have dragged their feet over this takeover. So if I'm a Man United fan, that's the thing I'm worried about, is that their summer doesn't end up starting until mid-July and everyone else is already
a new ownership
ahead of them by that point.
Indeed. It's going to be a fantastic summer. Now you've said it like that, where there is no, as you say, no pandemic, no tournament, over 2 billion is going to be spent. I'm telling you now, it's going to break the transfer record.